does that mean to you?
Spreading the word when we're relating to preparedness, emergency preparedness specifically. Yeah. In America, we kind of have a normalcy bias. This is sort of a human condition, but in America for sure, because we have all these nice services and beautifully laid out infrastructure, etc., people can very easily be lulled into a false sense of security, right? And because of that, we tend to think that perhaps the government will take care of us. Why do we need to have food stored up or water stored up? Won't the government come to our rescue in the event of a disaster? But I think we can look as recently as Hurricane Katrina for sure and see that it is incumbent upon us as citizens, certainly responsible citizens, to be prepared for a myriad of contingencies, not the least of which is natural disasters. Natural disasters are very common, and it's one scenario that we're sure to see in our lifetimes, usually within the next year. So being prepared, certainly having food and water on hand, but also medical supplies, and not just medical supplies, but clearly the knowledge and the skill sets behind the medical supplies. You don't just get a first aid kit and, oh, person is in need, I will wave my magic bag over them and they're cured. So that to me is part of my job in this equation, to spread the word and get people prepared. Each person has something special that they're gifted with. For you, for me, it's going to be different. The way that I'm helping spread the word is traveling all around the world, teaching the Medical Prep 101 and 201 classes, getting people ready, getting them knowledge and skill sets to better prepare them for disasters.
I think one of the main points is that you can't do it alone. A lot of people
Sure.
are isolationists, and they think that they're going to stock up and pile up, and they're going to have this whole bunker mentality where they're just going to, and like you said during the class, that even if you have somebody who's really knowledgeable when it comes to security,
Right.
they're not going to be able to do it 24/7. At some point, they're going to have to rest, and somebody's going to have to take over.
Right.
So
Everybody's got to sleep sometime.
So you can't do it alone.
Right.
My philosophy is, while we're in a good times, well, as good as it can get.
Better times.
Better times. It's a good time to try to get your neighbors on board, your community on board. And like you said, there's all different ways of doing that. I've chosen to run for mayor of the city. I think that's a good way to spread the word. Other people may not want to run for public office, but they may want to teach classes. There are people that are involved in their organizations,
Right.
their churches, their sportsman clubs, and they can spread the word that way.
Absolutely.
So there are all different ways out there to spread the word.
For sure.
But I think that we often tend to think narrowly that we're spreading the word by putting on YouTube videos, and I think we're reaching a very minuscule amount of the population.
Yeah. YouTube and the interwebs, they have their place for sure. They're a piece of the puzzle, right? They're a part of the machine that works together. But each person is also like a different, part of the body. A hand is different than a foot or an eye or an ear. We're each made differently with different skills and different strengths and weaknesses. So I think playing to our strengths and helping each other, getting together, and using each other's strengths for mutual benefit is certainly something that we need to reconnect with in our country. Since really about the mid-'60s, we've kind of gotten divorced from this idea of the neighborhood being the community, right? And of having strong relationships with our neighbors in favor of being isolationists in our own home. Certainly within the next few years that are going to be coming up, when I say few, I mean within the next 15 to 20, I think it's going to be very important to be able to network with your neighbors. And it makes sense too, because in the case of, for instance, a natural disaster, a hurricane or a blizzard, who are the people in the closest proximity to you? Maybe not even your family necessarily, but your neighbors. Having good relationships with your neighbors and having a dialogue where it's safe to discuss these things and share ideas, really, really important for the times ahead, for sure.
And strengths is the key, because no one can be an expert at everything.
Right.
So you're going to have people that are going to be, medical experts, and there are a lot of people that think they're medical experts and aren't, and a lot of people that think that they're security experts because they own a gun, and obviously we know that
my magic talisman makes me an operator. So does all my gear. Not so much.
Everybody has their expertise and what they contribute, and it's important to network and to be able to communicate with each other, and spreading the word is key.
Sure. Got it. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for your class.
You're so welcome, for sure. For those who are interested in learning more about the class, they can visit the website www.thepatriotnurse.com, where I give them a little bit of course description, fun places I'm going to be going to the next year. But yeah, if they're interested in learning more.
I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Jewish prepper. On YouTube, I'm Jewish Prepper 1. And I am running for mayor of the city of Pittsburgh, and my website is here, votewander.com. I'm happy to get support of everybody out there. There hasn't been a Republican, not that it matters which party it is, but there hasn't been a Republican in office in 90 years, believe it or not, in this city. And what I say over and over again is it really doesn't, it's not about party. Single party rule is something which is unhealthy, regardless of which party it is, because if you only have one party that's going to get in automatically, there's no accountability. It's a dictatorship, and unfortunately, that's what we see in many countries in the world. We're very fortunate in our country to have a two-party system where we can have some independence,
Yes.
that we can have some sort of accountability. So that's what I'm trying to bring to the system. I appreciate all your support, and I'm so happy to have Patriot Nurse here in our city.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate being